Welcome back. Welcome in. Talking before the podcast is a criminal sin.
Welcome back. Welcome into the Lions Share podcast ahead of NFL Week 16 and Lions versus Bears. 3 games remaining in this here NFL regular season. Saturday NFL is back this week. We have 4 days of NFL. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and in the middle of that, we've got some college football playoffs mixed in as well. So it's a great time to be a football fan in the world. That means 5 straight days of actual meaningful football on your televisions, including 2 big matchups on Saturday with the AFC Texans and Chiefs and Steelers Ravens, which is always a classic. It's an exciting time of year, and it's exciting today because we're all back at full strength. We've got Andrew back here on the podcast. We're back to a 3-man weave we've got going on today. We're happy to have you back, Andrew. It's good to have you back, sir.
It's glad to be back. Still not at 100%, as you know, but good to get the vocals rolling again.
You're at recording strength, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, he's a full participant in practice today. He's back. But boy, do we have a lot of injuries, and it's only growing, that list. And obviously, we got the news on Monday about Monty. We knew that Carlton Davis was down, and we knew that some others were already down. But got the news on Monday that Monty was down, so it's just kind of like another thorn in our side here. But then we got Dan coming in with his all-time speech. So I don't know about you guys. Are you guys ready to eat a little moldy bread?
That entire interview was that rant interview, whatever you want to call it, was just incredible. Like, that was the most Dan Campbell as he's gonna get, and yeah, I mean that's why we love him. That's why he's an incredible coach. That's the kind of stuff he does that makes you forget that he did an onside kick with 12 minutes to go, down 2 scores.
Mitchell nailed it. This is the epitome of Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell would make any Detroit within driving distance of the stadium drive down to practice and go, "Hey, give me some pads. Let me show you what I got. I might be able to help us out here." He's got everybody within 100 square miles wanting to drive over there.
And probably outside that radius as well. The ultimate motivator. You know, everybody digging the grave for the Lions with the news. It was the big news on Monday. Everybody, including the entire world, was talking about this. It seemed like everywhere you went online with sports, it was this. It was the Lions and their glaring issues and montages of all the injuries and 22 guys on the IR or the PUP list, which is leaps and bounds ahead of anybody else. And then Dan comes in to tell you why that's not the case. And also Jared Goff, too. I don't know if you guys caught that version of him on 97 won the ticket, but, you know, was asked the question basically, you know, what do you say to Lions fans that are kind of depressed right now? And he said, what do they have to be depressed about? He said, we're 12-2 and this ship's sailing on. Like, believe it or not, it continues on, and the goal is still the goal, which is the Super Bowl. So that make you guys feel a little better? I know, Andrew, I know you have always been kind of the type to prefer like the underdog role. And then this year, the Lions kind of became that Super Bowl favorite, and all of a sudden they are everybody's favorite. Do you feel like a little bit, in a weird way, you feel a little better like in the underdog role here?
I like the fact that Dan can use that to his advantage with these guys, because you got all these northern savages, as he calls them, coming in on the defensive side of the ball. Gonna have to get a new running back tandem. Gonna have a lot laying on Gibbs here. But the ultimate motivator, as you call him, I think that he can use all that chippiness to his advantage and get these guys going for it. And that's what he said, you know, that's on me. This was a huge game, and I didn't get them up for where they need to be. And I think that's usually what he says after a loss. It's been a while since we've heard it, but
Right.
you know what? I'll take that. And going back through the onside kick situation again, we had him outnumbered on that side. The fact that, you know, he takes it down within the 5 is kind of, I feel like, fluky. So it's kind of crazy, but yeah, I guess you let it slide because Dan's the man. I don't know.
I don't know if I can talk about it anymore.
He's moved on. He said his piece about it. Yeah, it's who knows? Who knows? But Dan is the ultimate motivator, and that's what he has to do. He has to come out and promote the positivity and say next man up, all that good stuff. It's going to hunger them. It's going to feed them controlled fury. I don't know about you guys, but it made me feel a lot better. Maybe it just distracts me. Maybe it's delusion. It's toxic positivity, whatever it is, but it made me feel better. But yeah, I mean, we got Aleem done for the year. He's going to miss part of next year too, which is tough. Carlton Davis may be back for the playoffs in a later date. Monty, third opinion. Andrew, you were just speaking on this off air, but third opinion, does that seem a little bit far-fetched?
Yeah, and to bring in some more of the backstage, Mitch was saying with it, if the defense wasn't so banged up, then yeah, but Monty, get healthy, man. We need you long term. You're a vital piece to the team. Don't want to see you come in and have long term issues. Would rather just see you get healthy.
Yeah, I just it kind of zags from where we were just talking about, where we don't, the season isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. But I just think, there's a big difference of, I'm staying in, I'm gonna get this tud in the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna remember it forever. And Dan the motivator is one thing, but he can't just make the injuries disappear. So we have to be a little realistic, and I just think, more important than anything, make sure you get healthy in the long term. Like Andrew said, it's not worth, the long term injury, or there's life after football as well. And Monty's a big family man, so we'll see what comes of it. But do what's right for you and your family.
Getting deep there, Mitch, with that one. Did you guys catch today the measure that Dan and the coaches went with? They sat a lot of guys down for the practice today. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Feels like it might be overdue. At a certain point, is this all just super flukes, or is there concern with the training staff at all?
I think there's legitimate concern.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if that's something
strength and conditioning as well.
Yeah, if that's something you're not looking into, that's a bigger issue, right?
And the turf too. I mean, people bring up the turf, but it's like, now look, some of these are very fluke injuries, like the Aiden injury and the Carlton Davis broken jaw. Like those things, that I don't think you can put that on the training staff or the strength and conditioning. But like I told you guys, it's not the first time when Monty is out there with an MCL injury, and then they put him back into the game and have him doing stuff on the sidelines. Look, I'm not an expert, but that's what other experts are saying. That comes into question. It seems like those guys need to be all over that, and sending a guy back out there with such a serious injury, that's not right. So I do think there needs to be some action there, and I don't know what the answer is, but it does, like you said, Andrew, you got to at least look at it, because yes, a lot of those were fluke injuries, and you're going to have injuries every year, but the sheer number and the amount they have compared to other teams is worth looking at, and something they'll probably address in the offseason, if not sooner.
Well, look back to the Taylor Decker one, too. He put his helmet back on that game. He was ready to come back in. He was cleared to come back in. They just decided to sit him down. So he sat out the next 2 weeks, right? We don't know how bad it really was, but you got to imagine it was pretty bad.
Yeah, and same with Wingo. Wingo comes off the injury report a couple weeks ago. He suits up for a game, and then next thing we know, he's on season-ending injury on the injury he just had. So it's sending guys out too soon. Just some questionable calls from the training staff, and it's a different position. It's not something we usually talk about, or the media even talks about. Everybody talks about the coordinators and things like that, the guy's the leader of men, but they don't always look at these things because it doesn't get a ton of microscope. But with the number, you certainly got to ask the questions. But what I was referring to on guys sitting today, Brian Branch didn't practice, Taylor Decker, Glasgow, Monty obviously didn't practice, but he is not on IR yet because he's getting that third opinion. But he probably in the soon will probably move to the IR. Ragnow, DJ Reader, Zadarius Smith, St. Brown, Big Z, Iffy, Trevor Nowaski. Iffy and Trevor Nowaski did practice. I misspoke there, but the rest of those guys did not practice in anything, and a lot of these guys listed as rest. So kind of going in it with this week with a little rest to maybe switch up the conditioning that could be plaguing some of these guys. But I guess the positive news is boys, if he is off the 20 or off the IR, he's in his 21-day eval window, could potentially play as early as this week. He's a full participant in practice this week, so that's a positive, right? That we we have some help there in the secondary with Iffy. I know safety's pretty strong right now, but hopefully he can float around and play some other positions maybe. It's great to have him back.
Well, him with Branch on the field at the same time is going to be nice, especially with Carlton gone, obviously. Going to need somebody that's a little more physical to take his spot. So Branch can take that, and if he can hang out over the top.
Yeah, Andrew nailed it. And just any depth at all would be great right now.
Yeah. Would love for him to play cornerback or D tackle. That'd be great. I don't think he's available for those positions or even linebacker at this point. But Trevor Nowaski back after that concussion. He's back practicing today. That's great. And they also signed for the linebackers. For those longtime Lions might remember him from a couple years ago. Anthony Pittman spent some time here in limited roles. He comes over from, I think, Jacksonville. Now joins the Lions back in that linebacker room that's thinned out a little bit while Anzalone's been out. And so a little depth position there at linebacker. And then, Mitch, you hit us with the news before we started here with the Calais Campbell news that he's, on the Dolphins right now. But with the Dolphins seasons in the balances, probably not making the playoffs, he would potentially join a contender. What do you guys think the likelihood of Campbell joining this team, though?
I think it would be incredible. I mean, the dude's going full LeBron out there, just 38 years old, balling out of his mind. I think it would be great. Ben, I know you said he's potentially looking at the Ravens. It would be awesome in Detroit. I mean, we'd love to have him. I think, especially with Aleem going down, you put Calais down there. And Calais is legitimately like the Jolly Green Giant. He's huge. I'm just crossing my fingers. I'm very biasedly crossing my fingers that happens.
Mitch, I'll cross my toes for you as well, because I think he would see exactly what Big Z saw too. Zadarius Smith, got a lot of potential to have your name called a lot of times for this team and to be a standout. But they're going to give you a 1-year deal. That's what they do. They're going to give you very short-term things to make you prove it and go get a big contract for a couple more years, and he might be able to. But I think, what you said, with Aleem going down, he's got a real opportunity to make a huge impact. I think they make a legitimate concern to go get him, especially without Carlton, too.
Yeah, I'm sure Brad's picking up the phone as we speak. And potentially, what about Ndamukong Suh? He's out there, too.
I saw this one. I don't think that's happening. How long has he been in the league? I prefer
Campbell, I think.
Yeah, somebody in the league.
Oh, no doubt. No, he's been, he was last with the Bucks, right? He didn't go anywhere after the Bucks, I don't think.
That was my question. Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't followed his career after the Bucks. No.
Yeah, I don't know either. But that's a name. I don't know. Reunited in Detroit, that would be crazy. That would be some crazy stuff. I guess I had it in here is the dream scenarios. Maybe, this team gets to the NFC Championship and then they get Carlton Davis back, Hutch back, maybe Monty back, but it sounds like he's going to go for the surgery route. But I guess that's the positivity is you can feel pretty good about getting into the playoffs and getting through a couple games, and then maybe you get some reinforcements for the NFC Championship, and then if you can get through the championship, get to that Super Bowl and hopefully get at least some of these guys back. I think Carlton Davis has got a good chance of coming back, and Hutch keeps saying that he would play in a Super Bowl. So we'll see. Dream scenario.
Don't forget Anzalone right at the end of the season too. I think he's going to be
that's key.
That's one of your captains on the defense. That one's huge to get back.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to be back. If Week 18 means something, he probably plays in that game. If it doesn't, he may sit to the playoffs. We'll see. But I think Week 18, that's that target date for him. And lastly, before we talk Lions-Bears, congratulations to Dan Skipper, him and his wife, his whole family, having another child here. And it was on the same day. I don't know if you caught this, guys, but it's on the same day as he scored the touchdown. That's going to be a day in lore for him.
Touchdown in multiple ways.
Ooh. Finds pay dirt in multiple ways, you could say. Scores in multiple ways. That's probably a better way of putting it. All right. Lions, Bears, boys. Seems like we were just talking about this, previewing Thanksgiving and taking in a crazy game that took place on Thanksgiving in Ford Field. One that Eberflus would like to forget, and Caleb Williams alike. Lions snuck away with one there, 23-20. Here they are again. This time it's in Chicago. It'll be 1 o'clock, back in the 1 o'clock window for these 1 o'clock Warriors on Fox in Chicago. Detroit coming in at 6.5-point favorites. Mitch, correct me if I'm wrong there. And over-under sitting at 46.5. Weather, obviously going to be a factor. This is one of Lions' few road games this year. 29 degrees and mostly sunny, so it doesn't look like we're going to get any precipitation for this game, so it should be clean. Just a little cold out there for the guys. And coming into this game, the Bears are on an infamously long 8 games losing streak. So definitely on the schneid. Lions come off of a loss to the Bills, but 11 of their last 12 in the win column. Who wants to go first? Let's talk picks. Andrew, I think you should go first this week. You're back in a big way. So let's talk picks. What do you say, kid?
I think we got some upset football from the Detroit Lions this week. I got them in a landslide. I think Gibbs is going to love the grass out there. Lions 42, Bears 14. Goff not happy with kind of some of these media comments. He puts a smile on his face, but you can tell not real happy with what he's hearing. So I think he's going to come with a vengeance this week. And I think the Lions defense, I think they can rattle Caleb Williams. Same thing Z did to Jordan Love in the Packers game. You get a hit on Caleb Williams early, you could ruin the rest of his day. And we're going to need a massive day from Kirby Joseph. If he steps up, he gets us a pick, we win the turnover battle. It's in our favor.
Yeah, gotta have it. Need a Kirby Joseph INT. We've been missing out on that and missing out on the turnovers in general. I think it's a big opportunity for that defense to get some confidence back up and create some turnovers against the rookie quarterback. I've got a mirrored score here. I've got Lions 31, Bears 13. Like you said, Andrew, I can echo your points. It feels like this team's going to come out hot and motivated. It just seems like there's no other way they do it. So I think they win it for the boys this week and come out with a little extra spice. I think it's a good opportunity for the run game to get reestablished and get Gibbs more into that running back one full load for him. They had nearly 200 yards combined against the Bears on Thanksgiving, so it's a good opportunity for the run game here. And I think it's a must-win game for the 1 seed, so you got to win it. Got to have these divisional games, got to have it, and got to be ready for a sneaky Bears team because they're going to be looking to play spoiler.
Yeah, I'm not going to overcomplicate this. Not that I don't think you guys did, but I've got Lions 27, Bears 10. I don't think we're going to see a ton of fireworks, and quite the shootout. I mean, obviously we're not going to see a shootout from the Bears that we got from the Bills, but I'm just going to steal from you guys. I think a couple turnovers would be great. I think they're going to come out hungry. I expect them to come out and execute though, and just kind of get let's make sure we are executing against what AG calls, what Ben calls, don't miss your assignment type football. I think that's what they really need to focus on. There's going to be some trick plays and there's going to be some gadgets, that Ben's going to put in, AG's going to put in. But, I just think you're the better team, even with the injuries. You don't have to go too crazy. And to Andrew's point, just rattle Caleb. I think he's in a deep, dark hole. I feel bad for him. The Bears organization feels like what the Lions were before Sheila took over. And again, I start to feel a little bit for fan bases like that. But obviously we need this win, Ben, like you said. So go Lions. I think they pick up the dub. 17 points feels like a pretty safe spread.
Very nice. Very much not overcomplicated from you there. And Andrew, the Bears hat wearer himself shaking his head on comments about Mitch being empathetic to the Chicago fan base.
Hey man, hat's a hat. Sue me.
I'm just saying you repped it a couple times and we gave you crap for it. You're pretty proudly wearing that Bears hat. That's all I'm saying.
Hey buddy, if I could actually it's anti-Bears week. I wouldn't wear it this week.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No bear down. Shareholders, vote down below on Spotify what you think and comment on Instagram and Twitter, or Instagram and TikTok. If you think you can predict it better than us, put those scores down in the comments. Fact or fiction time. Let's go through it. Lions Fact or fiction? Lions over 100 yards rushing.
Fact. I think Gibbs is gonna go off here. I think Gibbs gets over 100 by himself. I think Craig Reynolds probably has like 35.
Okay, I like that.
I'm also going fact, but I would expect Gibbs to just have a massive day. I think he's not going to get the 100 on his own, but he's going to have a lot of receiving yards as well this week. Fact for over 100 though.
Yeah, I'll take a fact as well. Saw this team struggle in the run game last week against the Bills. Could not get over 50, or couldn't get over 60, I think. So uncharacteristically low. I think it's a good opportunity for the offensive line to reestablish who they are, and same with that run game. I think it's a big point of emphasis this week for the offensive line to show us who they are. Next one. Lions get 2 or more turnovers.
Fact. Going with my heart here in Andrew's prediction.
Absolutely, mainly because we need it. Fact.
Fact for me as well. Caleb Williams is going to cry. Fact or fiction? Tears for Caleb.
No, it's fiction. I think he's done.
That's fiction unless it's an injury tier. He knows he's out an interim coach right now.
I wrote this one down, so I'm going to say fact, just for the fun of the game. Last one here. Laporta leads the receivers in yards.
I'm going to say fiction. I like a big game from J-Mo, to be honest. I like a big game from J-Mo, and Tim Patrick is on fire lately.
A little J-Mo. Yeah, I love Tim Patrick lately. A little J-Mo revenge after his penalty last time these two teams met.
Yeah, Mitchell, that's what I originally wanted to say, so I like where your head's at with big game J-Mo. I think this might be the game they forget about Laporta, though. I want to go fact here.
Okay, I'm gonna side with Mitch. I think Laporta has a big game. I think he's got about 89 yards in him in this week. I think St. Brown comes in at like 111. That's what my heart's telling me right now. And J-Mo, I'd love to see a big game on him as well. Big Game-O J-Mo? Is that a nickname right there that I just came up with? Game-O J-Mo? No, that seems crazy. I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead here. Where's the sound effect? There it is. Thanks, Tommy.
Close.
All right, that's your fact or fictions. Comment below if you guys think you got anything better than us. 1 seed talk. We can still talk about this with 3 weeks remaining. Obviously, got a lot happening in week 16. But if the Lions win out, they still take the 1 seed. That's the one thing that's consistent.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I think we should skip this week.
Okay, no talks about it.
I think it's bad juju. I think it's bad juju. I think we should.
I think you're right.
We've been so focused on getting the 1 seed in the bye lately. I think we have to skip for at least a week.
Okay, I agree. No one wants to hear it, and but that means we're heading into week 15 picks, folks. No,
Sad.
Sorry, week 16 picks.
Crazy.
And we kick things off with our first ever Thursday night football game that's been flexed. This was not the original matchup that Prime had, but they flexed this one about 30 days ago, and it's going to be a good one. It's the Broncos and the Chargers, and we've got on here on the screen, we've got a playoff impact of 5. This one's huge. So big implications in this one in LA on Thursday night on Prime. So Chargers won the first time these two teams met, 23-16 in week 5. I will take the Chargers to sweep the Broncos here. I think this is going to be a really good game, though.
Sorry, I'm getting all turned around. We usually do we stop sharing the screen? I'm on Chargers with you, Ben. I think it's going to be a good game. I know both of these teams are well into the playoff hunt. Feels like even if they lose, the Broncos get in. Chargers probably too, if we're being honest, but the Chargers need a little bit more. So I'm with you. I like the Chargers coming off a toughies.
Agreed. We got 2 veteran coaches here. I'm going to go with the veteran quarterback, though. Give me the Chargers as well. Next matchup, Texans going into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. We got a possible Carson Wentz. Yeah, we don't know what happened to Patty Mahomes. He left late last week. Don't know if he's actually going to be playing. Regardless, I've got the Texans. I think they need this more.
Yeah, Texans. We got to see something from the Texans, right? They've looked flat all year. I think the Texans find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I really like the Texans in this one. Kansas City's got back-to-back games here. They play again on Christmas after playing on Saturday with this matchup against the Texans. So it wouldn't surprise me if they sit Mahomes for this one. He has been practicing, and I think that's why this line has moved now to Kansas City 3.5 point favorites. Coming into this show, it was Texans 3 point favorites in this one, so it's completely flip flop. So we could see Wentz in this one. We could see Mahomes. We don't know. They do play again the following Wednesday against the Steelers, which is a big matchup too. So see what they do here. I think either way, I'll take a Texans victory here, but also next week with the Steelers in town, I think Kansas City drops one of these two games against the Texans or the Steelers. So Steelers, speaking of them, they also play on Saturday. This is the second matchup. This one will be on Fox. First one will be on NBC. Fox has got Steelers and Ravens, a classic matchup. This one's got big implications for that division. Steelers won it the first matchup 18-16 in week 11. I will take the Ravens. I think this is primed for a nice split between these two teams. And Steelers took the first one, so I'll take the Ravens second time around.
The Steelers just have Lamar Jackson's number. I like the Steelers. They're coming off a loss against the Eagles where they looked totally flat. I know they don't have all their offensive pieces there. I don't know. Just got a feeling in my tum-tum that this one's going to be the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't normally take the Steelers to lose two in a row, but Steelers beat the Ravens without scoring a touchdown the last time they matched up. Lamar took that one personally. I think this one is going to be Ravens by a couple scores.
Ooh.
Next game, we got basically no playoff implication, but we do have a new quarterback. Michael Penix going to be taking over for Kirk Cousins. It's the Giants on the road in Atlanta taking on the Falcons. I'm gonna take the Falcons. The Giants are just bad.
I will say, if the Falcons win, they have a 39% chance of the playoffs. If they lose, 10% chance of the playoffs. Falcons, because the Giants are bad. This is one who wants to watch it. I guess for Penix, you watch this. It wouldn't surprise me if the Falcons came out a little hungry this week.
Yeah, get a little backup quarterback bump. Kirk Cousins down, Penix up. I'll take the Falcons as well. Then it's the Lions-Bears. We've all got the Lions. Then we move to AFC matchup here. I put this playoff impact at -1 because neither of these two teams are going to make the playoffs. It's the Bengals and the Browns. Bengals at home. Bengals won the first matchup first time around in week 6. I'll take the Bengals to sweep the Browns.
Bengals. Browns are in disarray.
Agreed. Give me the Bengals. I don't think it's going to do them much good, but they'll get another win here.
Can Joey B get some MVP love from you guys?
No.
Oh, absolutely. Dude's tearing it up.
I would give it to Jamar Chase over him.
Ooh.
That's
quarterback hater.
Crazy.
Jamar Chase going off every time Joe Burrow does, so correlation, I don't know.
Vice versa?
I don't think so. Who else is
a little bit of A, a little bit of B?
Chase Brown running it?
Yeah, he's solid.
Doing pretty good.
All right, just asking. I've been shamed for not giving Baker enough love. I don't think we give Burrow enough love.
That's fair. I don't think it's his year for an MVP, though. He's had better seasons. But I digress here. Bad matchup, no playoff implication, essentially. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Ben. Titans
Colts could
taking
make it.
Okay, they've got a sneaky chance. Titans taking on the Colts. Colts won 20-17 in their first matchup, week 6. Ooh, that was a Flacco game. I'm going to take the Colts again. Even though the Titans have been dangerous lately, I'm still going to ride with the Colts just because it's at home.
Yeah, I like the Colts again. They have to win if they want any chance. So it just feels like we're getting to, week 16. There's a handful of teams that, like, if they want to keep their hopes alive, they have to win. So for that reason, I'm on the Colts.
Yeah, same. Colts. I think this is close. Could be a sneaky upset for the Titans to sneak one out and play a little spoiler here, but I'll take the Colts. Rams at the Jets. Rams coming off of a win. They sit atop that division right now. They need to keep pace with the Seahawks and the Cards. They need this one, so I will take the Rams to beat the stinky Jets, man. They suck.
Rams. Although, welcome back to the league, Devontae Adams.
It's too late. Give me the Rams. In a very good NFC matchup here, we got Commanders and Eagles in Washington. Week 10, Eagles won it 26-18. What is that? Scary Terry, 1 catch, 10 yards. Oh, Ben, I'm assuming that's your note. You expect Scary Terry to have a bigger week this week. I'm going to go with the Commanders mainly because the Eagles don't need it as much, and I think the Commanders are just going to fight this one.
I like the Eagles in this one. The Eagles are playing really good football.
Boo.
They won
Somebody
without
cut this guy's
Saquon. Listen, I'd love for the Commanders to win. I would absolutely love the Seahawks and the Commanders to win this week. I just don't think it's in the cards, and the Eagles are in that spot where they can win out and get the 1 seed. So I think the Eagles get it done. The Commanders have not beat a lot of good teams, and they barely beat the Saints.
Yeah. I don't love my pick here with the Commanders, picking with my heart, but I also said the first time these two teams matched up, I said I like the Commanders to take the second one. I saw how competitive they were against Philly in Philly. I think at home here, they get a win here in their season. And like I said to Andrew, Terry McLaurin had only 1 catch for 10 yards the last time. I think he comes back in a big way, a big revenge game for him. Commanders take one here in the NFC East. Moving along to Charlotte. It's the Panthers at home versus the Cardinals. Don't know about you guys, but we're all on cards here, but I didn't feel great about this one. I feel like this could be very close, and I just don't know what I think about the Cards, but I'll take the Cards.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the over in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of points. I'm on Cardinals, but it could go either way. I like a lot of points, though.
Mitchell, I love that. I love that from you. I'll take the Cards. I'll take you one more. I'll take 2 defensive scores in this game.
Ooh.
Or special teams.
Okay. The loney hath been slung.
And what would be a fantastic matchup? We've got a cubic meter of rain coming in this one. Big playoff implications. Vikings heading over to Seattle, taking on the Seahawks. I'm gotta stick with the Hawks here. We need a big game from the Hawks. Kind of hosed us in the last one. Give us one here.
Yeah, Andrew, just so you know, Seahawks win, 50% chance of playoffs. They lose, 22% chance. I kind of alluded to it. I would love for the Seahawks to win, but man, did they look pitiful against the Packers. And I know they didn't have Geno, but I just feel like the Vikings win.
I've picked against the Vikings so many times in a row, I've lost count. And I'm just going to have to do it again. I have to keep mashing the button until it works, because if I try to flip-flop now, it's going to be egg in my face. So I'll take the Hawks here at home. Kenneth Walker, I really need you to play in this one. He hasn't practiced yet. Geno Smith has practiced. Probably going to be playing hurt. The rain scares me a little bit. It's going to be a ton of rain in Seattle, it sounds like. So I think this one's going to be an ultra low-scoring game. May have both teams under 20 points here. And I like the Hawks here to get a big win and knock that Vikings team down just a bit. Bills at home versus Patriots. Who cares? It's going to be cold. It's going to be 12 degrees.
Yeah, we can. You could probably bump down one, Ben.
Yeah,
to be honest.
All of us taking the
We're all
Bills.
on the
Actually,
Bills. Geno Smith was a full participant in practice today, by the way.
Yes.
Biggest spread of the week in the Bills Pats game.
Yep. 14.
14.
It's not big enough.
Holy cow.
We're all on the Bills. Who cares about this next one? It doesn't mean anything. Jaguars, Raiders. I'll take the Raiders.
Raiders.
Jagval.
Nice. Dolphins at home, taking on the 49ers. Potential for a late shower in this one. I have 49ers question mark. I don't know. Maybe you guys can talk, and maybe I'll change my pick. But I guess I'll take the 49ers.
Okay, so I'm picking with my heart on this one because it could go either way. If the 49ers win, that probably eliminates the Dolphins. And then maybe that means by like Wednesday next week, the Lions have Calais Campbell.
Love it.
I would love for that to happen, but I do think the Dolphins are fighting just for a little bit more than the 49ers are. So I'm going to take them in a fight, especially cross country for the Niners there. And their team's just in shambles.
I'll take the 49ers. I'll stick with them.
Haha, Andrew, I win.
Okay, whatever. This should be a feisty game. I hope the Bucks just kind of dispose of them. This is your Sunday night football game. Tampa Bay taking on Dallas in Dallas. I'm going with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Andrew, you've been saying it. Bucks are a scary, scary team. I'm on the Bucks with you. I do not want to play the Bucks in the playoffs.
Everything you guys just said, I'll echo. I'll take the Bucks as well down there in Dallas. Saints heading up to Green Bay for the final matchup of the week. It's Monday Night Football. We're going to have some snow in Green Bay, 1 to 3 inches throughout the day. Potential for some snow showers during the game, about 50%. So snow on the field, snow in the bleachers, but maybe not snow in the air by the time this one kicks off late Monday night. Go Saints. If you can somehow pull it off, that's great, but I think the Packers win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Fremundas as well. The Saints are bad, and Packers are still pretty good.
Agreed. I would love to see the Saints pull it out, so let's go Saints, but I'm picking the Packers.
And that's week 16, folks. 3 weeks in the NFL remain. You better savor it. You got college football as well this week. Here's our season running totals each week, and the tabulations at the bottom. Myself, 146 and 76. Mitch, 3 games back. Right there,
Mitchell.
pal. Right there, 143 and 79. Andrew,
Tight.
9 games back. All of us within 9 games. Andrew, 137 and 85. So it's a tight one down the stretch here, folks.
Mitchell, don't look now. Those Dolphins, those Raiders, those Commanders, and who else? Oh, Ravens, Commanders,
big week
Raiders,
here.
Dolphins.
Could be a big week
Oh,
here.
that's it, Mitch. You watch yourself.
Watch out, folks. Watch out. He's putting them on notice.
I'm more scared of myself than I am of you.
Watch out for the boogeyman.
That's like Dan today in his press conference. He was like, no one writes the book like us. We can only write the book. We have the pen. No one else has the pen. So that's something to leave you fine shareholders with. We have the pen. We write our own story. It's kind of poetic, Dan. We'll be back on Sunday to recap the game, Lions and the Bears, and we'll have the results of the Vikings-Seahawks, as well as Eagles-Commanders, and then we'll talk Wednesday on what happens with the Packers and the Saints, and we'll update you all on that. We hope you all have a great weekend. Like I said, 5 straight days of football, including the NFL and college football playoffs, 4 of those days being NFL games. So, big slate of NFL ahead in the holiday season right around the corner. Let's go Lions. Like, follow, rate 5 stars. We'll see you guys Sunday.
Meow.